Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. So from Mike Lane, we now have his Test Circuit Pro. Now I'm going to open this, show you what it is, but basically it means that we can test all our electronics before they go into the vehicle. Now I know with the Skyline, obviously we have tested all those because that was one of the stages that we done. However, we are now being told obviously to pull all the parts out of the circuit board and put them into the car. So what I've done at the moment, I've actually put the circuit board in there and I've actually removed all the cables from the Skyline and from its circuit board because we're being told to pull them out anyway to put them into the various parts of the car, which means that you've either got the circuit board either in the car or in a box, maybe still with all your wires, etc. But now you've got the two things separated. So the ultimate idea is that whilst it's in the car, you can use the Test Circuit Pro and still test that they actually still work, even away from the circuit board. As I said, I've taken all the cables out of the circuit board now, so that they are safe in the box. They're all neat and tidy, and as and when we need them for the Skyline, I can just pull them out and check them. Check them with this, and then make sure that when they go into the car, they still work when we've installed them. So let's open the box, show you what you get, and I'll grab some wires out and I'll show you how it all works as well.
Welcome to the workshop. Tools are ready to play. We're gonna build something great, starting here today. Piece by piece we go now.
Right, so the Test Circuit Pro. This is what we get. We do get a USB-C to C cable here. Need to ask Mike to start giving adapters away because I still don't have a USB-C plug in the workshop, so I'll go find a USB-A to C plug for this. So in the box we have the tester itself and we have some various cables. Now it comes in a nice anti-static bag. Right, so this is the Test Circuit Pro. And we've basically just got it in sections here. So we've got LED testers. We can change the polarity of them, obviously for two different style plugs as well. Got a speaker test, motor test, switch test. We've got a battery box tester, and we've also got a battery tester. So I'm going to take you through all of these. The only one I probably can't take you through is the motor test because I don't think I've got a motor to hand for that one. And on the back, it's got some nice rubber feet. So that is probably an essential bit of kit to have on your workbench. Right, so as per usual, we do have a manual. So you scan the QR code to get to the manual. But I'm going to basically walk you through everything we have on this one. Right, so I've gone and got myself my USB A to C cable, not using mics this time around, because as I say, I don't have USB-C power block in the workshop. But any power supply will work with this as long as it's 5 volts. It does say 5-volt maximum there. So just be cautious on that. If you go and grab maybe your laptop power supply or something like that, you'll probably be damaging the components on this tester. So make sure if you do use a different power supply, 5-volt maximum only. So I'll take you through all the sections, starting with the LED tester. So we've got 2 sockets on here, one of which is a 1.25mm pitch JST Micro, and then the other one is a 1.5mm pitch, which is JST ZH. Both of these are common ones used in a lot of part works. Now, along with that, you might say, oh, but there's some that have more cables, more pins, etc. Well, Mike's thought about that. So we have a JST to JST connector. That's micro to micro, so that obviously tests sockets as well as obviously you've got a socket on there, so that will convert it to a plug. So you can test any lights that maybe go into a plug, not a socket. We have this one here, which again, this will go into the tester here, and this gives you an output of a JST DuPont lead and a JST lead, which is, I think, similar to this one. So I think this is a JST Micro. So, and we also have this one, which is again from the board, JST Micro, and that we've actually got 4 pins in the end of this one. So if you've got a 4 plug, then that will do that one. So got various adapters there that we can use throughout this board and for any other parts. And the good thing about this obviously is futurability. Then Mike could potentially come up with something else that will lead on to another part work if one of these don't fit. So with the LED tester, now obviously I've got an LED here. This is actually one from the Skyline. Not sure which one it is. Might be the headlights or something like that. Now normally, if you went and plugged that into a battery, what would happen is your LEDs will light up and then soon go out because they would have been burnt out and they would have been damaged. Now, the idea with this test pro, Mike's obviously taken that into consideration, checked out all the resistance, etc., and they should work with anything with LEDs that will run between 3 and 6 volts. So all we need to do, simply connect our LED the correct way around into the plug there and press our button. And you can see nothing's happened. Now there is a polarity switch here. So if we just swap the polarity, because LEDs only work in one direction, now we press the button and you can see that they're turning on. And we know that they will work when they go into the car. Now, got another set of LEDs here. It's going to be exactly the same. Again, they're from the Skyline. Again, just plug it in and we test. And as you can see, those work absolutely fine as well. I figured, why not grab this from the Batmobile. We can plug that one in there as well, and we can test that as well. Now, obviously, that's only lighting up static at the minute because that's all this LED does. When you run it from the board, from the Batmobile, it will flash. So that's pretty much it for the LED tester. I don't have anything that can test from there, but exactly the same principle. You just plug it in and press the button. If it doesn't work, try changing the polarity, because it might be that the polarity needs to be switched the other way around. I figured before moving on to the next section, I grabbed one of these out of the Skyline, and obviously that can plug in to your DuPont leads here, like so. Again, just plug that one in, and you can see it tests those as well. Now, it does say in the instructions to make sure you only test one at a time, so don't plug something into both of these. It's not designed for that, so one LED string at a time. Right, so next up, we have the speaker test. Now, I have had to bring the Batmobile down because I don't have a spare speaker, or I do, but I can't seem to find where it is at the minute. So the Batmobile speaker will work absolutely fine. Obviously, we did plug this one in, so I've just unplugged it from the circuit board. And to test the speaker, again, you've got 2 different connectors for the 2 different style leads, and I assume we could potentially use these if we need to. But to test the speaker, we just press the button. And you can see when I do that, the light flashes in time. Now, if you do get a flashing light but no sound, that potentially means that your speaker is faulty. So I'll just unplug that one from there and plug it back into the Batmobile. So moving on to the motor tester. As I said, I don't actually have a motor to test. However, I can still tell you about it. So the motor tester is testing like small scale motors. Think of the one we had in Knight Rider, the one for the lights. Again, rated between 3 and 6 volts. You don't want to do anything larger because again, you could damage this test circuit. Basically, same sort of thing. Just plug it into the correct port that your motor comes with, and then just single press the button to apply power, and that will again just give you power. You can see the light that's coming on there as well, so that confirms obviously that circuit has power. Now it does say once you've tested the motor, you do need to disconnect the USB-C cable just to reset the power regulator. Now I was going to do that anyway. I don't know whether it makes a difference whether I had a motor attached to that or not. But so we've done that. The next thing we have is a switch tester. Now I will bring over the Batmobile again. And again, we can just plug that one in there. And we have a light on. And that's because the switch is currently in the on position. And you can see as I turn that on and off, we get the light on or off. Right, so the next thing on here, we have a battery tester. Now, if you haven't power modded any of your vehicles and you're still using batteries, then we have a battery tester as well. And you can see there, it tells you how charged it is. Now, this is a brand new battery, so I fully expect it to be fully charged. Pull that one out. And again, we can try AAA battery. And again, just pressing the home button and we get the lights on there as well. Right, so that's testing the batteries. Now, these are non-rechargeable batteries. It does say do not test rechargeable batteries in this. It's not designed for that. What this does, it puts the batteries under a small load. So if you leave a battery in there, it is going to drain, even without pressing the button. So when you're not using it, obviously make sure you do take the batteries out of there. This is a one-time only test, and again, it's as simple as that. So for just testing any batteries. Now, see, this does do AA and AAA, which are the most common ones we have for our part works. Would be nice, maybe in a future iteration. Obviously, with the addition of remote controls now, they come with the CO 2032 batteries. Yeah, 2032 batteries. Be nice to be able to test those as well. Although, I can let you into a little bit of a trick on those ones. An easy way to test these, get an LED and just slot it over. I'll quickly show you this. So this is only 3 volts, but as you can see, it lights up that LED, no problem. So you want to test one of these 2032 batteries, use an LED. So the very last thing we're going to be testing on here, we've got the battery box tester. Now, you've got, again, the 2 connectors, and we have an option here for how many batteries we have. So 2, 3, 4, and 6. And that obviously changes the voltage of them as well. So 3, 4.5, 6, and 9 volts. So bringing over the Batmobile again, we have our battery box. Now, ignore the extra wires I've got on here at the minute. I was working on a bit of a power mod. So I do have 3 batteries in this. Now we're just going to plug that into here. So I'll just switch it to 3 batteries. You can plug that in, and you can see we have the illumination similar to what we had with the battery tester there. So that's going to tell us how good our batteries are in our battery box. And you can see we have a nice solid green light because they are brand new batteries in there as well. So that is the Mike Lane Test Circuit Pro. And I think it's going to be an invaluable addition to the workshop. I almost want to make like a little mount for it that it can sit against the wall on the workbench. So again, Mike, if you're watching this, maybe a nice little vertical mount of some description rather than it being sat on the floor on the workbench like so. But I think that is absolutely brilliant. It looks absolutely great. And I think to make sure that all the items in your model are working before you screw it all together, I think the cost of this is absolutely perfect, and it's completely invaluable. The last thing you want is to screw the whole thing together for your models, especially the ones that are a little bit more difficult to take apart again, and find that one of your LEDs have decided it's going to get broken. So invaluable little bit of kit. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to hit the like button below and give us a massive thumbs up. So that's a fantastic piece of kit from Mike Lane. It's nice to see that he's now moving into tools as well as mods. This obviously is going to be an essential piece of equipment for the workshop. Now, we've obviously recently done a lot of electronics for the Skyline. These are some of the cables that we have for the Skyline. Now you might say, oh, but we've tested all the lights, etc. for the Skyline. Yes, we did. That obviously, when we plugged everything into the circuit board, we had those 4 or 5 issues of just nothing but electronics. However, now we're being asked to unplug all of those items and then add it to the vehicle itself. Now, when we unplug things, it would be really easy to damage one of the JST leads or one of the cables or even the plugs themselves. But we have our Test Circuit Pro, which means it gives us peace of mind that we haven't damaged the cable as we pulled it out of the circuit board, and we know it's going to work when it's in the car. Now, as you can see, I've actually removed all of the circuits boards from the board. All the LEDs have been removed from the board, including all of the connectors for the blue neon lights. I've taken that out of the daughter board as well, because we are adding bits to the car and we're just going to be asked to remove them anyway. So as long as you still have all the labeling on them, it shouldn't make any difference. You'll know which cable to grab because it will tell you in the magazine to say grab cable L in this instance, and it'll tell you where to put it on your model. So the only difference I'm going to do is once I've grabbed the cable, I'm going to plug it into there, test that it works, put it on the model, and then check that it works again and I haven't damaged it putting it in. So this is going to be used every time, and I'm sure you'll see it on future videos as I do the electronics, etc. on these models. Fantastic bit of kit, nice and simple in its makeup, nothing overly complicated, and I'm sure Mike's going to say, oh, but there is some complicated things going on in there, and I am sure that is correct. He's made it so that obviously when you plug an LED in, it's not just going to fry it. There's obviously some fail safes in there that means that the LEDs are not going to get over voltaged or anything like that and damage them. One of the reasons I think why he says don't plug in more than one, just plug in one LED and it'll give you a good accurate result whether it works or not. Likewise for the switches and the batteries, etc. Just use one at a time and just take the results from that. Again, don't use rechargeable batteries. It says don't use those. You're not going to get an accurate result on those ones. But I think this is a fantastic piece of kit, and obviously with it being so small, you can quite easily put it next to your model. You know, test your wires, etc., coming from your model as well. So if you want to get one for yourself, do check out the links below. Check out Mike's website for all the other different mods and things that he has. Also, you've got power mods and things for various vehicles, and I believe there's even more coming. So do check all that out. If you want to see what else is going on in the workshop, please do remember to hit the subscribe button and ding the bell for notifications. That way you'll know when I release a new video. Until the next time, I'll see you around. Cheers.